Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, why you might want to avoid red bell peppers for a while. Also, there's a new most popular Halloween candy for 2024. All that and more on the way next. It is the Hudson Show from RadioU. And you know, anytime my guy Aaron Rodgers is in the news, particularly for non-football reasons, I need to address it. And so here's what happened with Aaron Rodgers if you missed it. Sunday Night Football last week, their loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a shot of Aaron Rodgers and appearing to, what some say, eat one of his boogers. This is something that was shown on TV. Following this accusation, Aaron Rodgers, in his weekly appearance on the Pat McAfee show, defended himself. He said, I know it's a tough look to defend, but I did not eat my boogers. But he didn't just say that. He doubled down. He said, not only was I not eating my boogers in that instance, but I've never eaten a booger in my life, is what he said. He said, I've never eaten a booger. Now, for many of us, I think this is hard to believe. You've gone your entire life without eating a booger. But this is just what makes Aaron Rodgers so amazing. This is what makes him the GOAT. How many people are out there that are anti-booger eating that if you, like, the truth is, when you were 6 years old, of course you tried it. Aaron Rodgers is so great, so amazing, so much above the rest of us that he somehow has gone his entire 40 whatever years of life without even being curious about eating boogers. And I think that's just one more reason why, clearly, he is the GOAT. He's no mortal man. He's Aaron Rodgers. It's the Hudson Show. Producer Allie is here. Allie, I've noticed more and more people wearing those pimple patches. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, like a lot of times, the star faces. If you've never seen this, or if you've seen, I'm sure there's some people that are like, why is there kids walking around with like stickers on their face? And it's their pimple patches, and they've really taken off. Mm-hmm. What I'm finding is, in my research, is that it's a way to make acne fun. Yeah, it's a way to kind of accessorize your acne, if you will. But it is a way to take care of it. Mm-hmm. I am the type of person that I have trouble picking at it. You know, I will want to pick at it if I ever have like a pimple or a zit or something. Yeah. So it actually does help to stop that. So you're not supposed to do that? No, you're not supposed to do that. That's probably why I have all these scars. This is what I'm thinking. When I never did the pimple patches, mm-hmm. and now it's much too late for me. My face is already destroyed. But I don't know if I would have wanted pimple patches because I don't know if I would have wanted to draw attention. I know it's like, oh no, I'm making it fun because it's like it's a sticker. And so instead of people seeing a pimple and me acting like it's not even there, they're going to see a sticker and it's like fun and I have a personality. I don't know if I would want that as much. I'm the same way. I don't really want the attention if I'm trying to, cover up a blemish or get rid of a blemish. So I do use a more discreet kind of like fleshy colored one that you really can't see unless you're looking close up. Oh, okay. So wait, do you wear those to work or? I wear them anytime that I have like a bad blemish that I know I'm going to pick at that is like, if I pick at it, it'll leave a scar or something like that. So I do cover those up and wear that the entire day just so that it doesn't cause any problems. So that's your secret to flawless skin. Yeah. I try hard over here. You know what though? Thinking back to acne, I still get pimples. But it was a real bad problem when I was in most of my life. And so, I understand that when you have acne, you will do anything to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. Like anything to distract from it or to try to treat it in some way. And so I didn't go to the full length of pimple patches. I probably should have. I probably would have been better off for it. So that from that mindset, I understand. I just don't know. The colorfulness of it is something that throws me off a little bit. Yeah, I'm not quite on that trend as much either. And I would have been my face would have been mostly stickers, mostly you just stars. Had stars all over. Yeah, there you would have been able to see me. So in other words, Hudson would be a constellation. Yeah, exactly. You're still lost on Halloween costume ideas. I've got one more for you. Reese's and Kit Kat have come up with a very meta Halloween costume. They have put out a Halloween costume where you can actually dress up as a human-sized candy bowl. It is a candy bowl that goes around your waist, which actually kind of sounds a little provocative. It's not. It's actually meant, they say, it's meant to allow parents to hand out candy because you can literally fill up this bowl around your waist while you're walking around town with your kids. And so then you can still, you don't have to like leave a candy bowl out at your house while you're not there. And then kids are stealing the whole thing of candy all by themselves. You can actually monitor them. I still feel like, you know what, like most kids, they're trick-or-treating nice. If they come up to your house and you let the bowl out, they're only going to take a couple. They're not going to take too much. You're probably going to be left with candy left over by the end of the night. Then what are you going to do with that? Eat it? I guess that's a good problem to have. But, you know, if you're a parent, isn't following your own kids around enough work? You need to add also, I'm going to follow around my kids, monitor them. And, oh, yeah, also, I'm going to try to hand out candy to every kid in the neighborhood. That's too much. Too much for me. Kim Kardashian just turned 44 years old earlier this week, celebrating her birthday. And she got, and you're not going to believe this, she actually got a golden diamond Skibbity toilet bracelet. You heard that right. Skibbity toilet. It's from her North. I'm honestly her daughter. Okay. Her, North, who's 11 years old, gave her a Skibbity toilet bracelet for her birthday. It actually looks quite expensive. I'm sure that it was. And it, unfortunately, when I saw the headline, I was like, so they like, what is it? Like got the Skibbity toilet head on it. It just literally says Love North. And then it also says Skibbity toilet on it. According to North, she's just like, Mom, you love Skibbity toilet. Kim Kardashian says, do I? I would have probably put the odds stacked against Kim Kardashian even knowing what Skibbity toilet was until she got this, but it sounds like maybe she's at least familiar. Listen, you know how it is though when it's your mom's birthday. It's the thought that counts, right? And North thought enough to at least get the Skibbity toilet engraved on something massively expensive. So I think it seems to me that Kim Kardashian, and what do you get? What could you get Kim Kardashian that she didn't already have or couldn't buy herself? This probably is one of the few things that she would have never thought, you know what I need to buy myself is a Skibbity toilet bracelet. And now she has it. This is fun. We haven't gotten to talk to Sheena in a while. She is our relationship expert here on the Hudson Show. And Sheena, I have something important that I wanted to get to with you. Somebody sent me this a few days ago. It says that every month people search for AI girlfriends 144,000 times. First of all, that's like a lot, right? Like that means people are actually looking for AI girlfriends and at least considering it. Why would somebody in your experience, would you think they would do that?
Yeah, that is a huge number, first of all. And, you know, when you contacted me about this topic, I was really excited because AI, you know, we've seen the movies, right? I remember watching the movie Weird Science with my dad. And, you know, the future is here, right? We are dating AI and which are robots, right? The movie Her. So it's really exciting to see the future actually be here. So I think that people are looking for this for the same reason that they're looking for real relationships. They're looking for companionship, love, feeling heard, all of those things. But relationships are hard. And we've talked about this before, right? You have to pick the right profile picture. You have to say the right thing, have the right career, you know, put on this whole performance. And with AI, you don't really have to do that. The AI is built to please you. It's a people pleaser. So it kind of cuts out all of the risk. There's nothing to be afraid of. It is going to say yes to whatever you want, non-judgment, all of that good stuff. And there's this sense of stability and dependability. Whenever you log on, that AI is there. In a real relationship, you have to like try to schedule that out for like 2 weeks and it might get canceled. There's all of these factors that the AI just does not have that makes it really easy, convenient, and risk-free. And a lot of people are afraid and lonely. So this is an easy way to kind of find a relationship without having to put in the work or be afraid. Yeah.
To go back to what you said, like the AI is always going to say yes. We've seen so many like celebrities, right, that they surround themselves with yes men. And then you see like eventually that comes back to bite them. That's true for relationships too, right?
Absolutely.
Like you have to have somebody when you're doing something stupid, even if it's your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, they need to be able to tell you, you're acting like a fool. You need to knock it off. AI's not going to do that for you. But all that said, are there any positives to having a relationship with AI in some way?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's strange for us to imagine because, relationships are meant to be real. And to some people, these are real. If we think about it, we put like human traits onto non-human things all the time, right? Like, so we might say, oh, my pet's smiling at me, right? But really, they're probably just hungry, So when the AI is expressing empathy and understanding, we kind of, open up to this AI in a way we might not be able to with, real people. Because again, there's that non-judgment. So a lot of people, when they work with AI in this way, find themselves reflecting and processing things that they haven't been able to do with a real person. So some people actually find themselves getting to a place where maybe they're getting this practice that they wouldn't be able to get with real people. So they're building their confidence, their self-esteem to where they might be able to move from AI to a real relationship. And I think that is a positive if it goes that way.
Yeah. Well, what you're saying, though, is concerning me because it sounds like AI could be like a little bit of a therapist, like a relationship therapist, which sounds like it would be coming for your job. So I don't want you. I'm worried for you, Sheena. All of us, we got to worry about the AI taking our jobs.
That's right. But I will say there's only one Sheena. So
That's right. So we covered the positives. It does sound like there's some like positive aspects to working with AI. But what are the downsides? What are the negatives of if you're a person that would be dating AI in any kind of way? What are the downsides?
Yeah, so those positives only work if, the person dating it kind of understands this isn't AI, this isn't long term. But like we talked about before with that empathy, that trust, that attachment that can kind of build, that's where it gets a little sticky and complicated. Because once you're dependent on something and attached to it, then it's really tough to kind of get back into the real world and, get off of the computer or the phone and go get that social interaction and be with friends. And, you probably aren't going to take your AI on a double date. So, so there's a lot of pieces there where it could become problematic. And if anything were to ever happen to that AI, like there is a business called Replica where they had to make some changes. And a lot of people were really upset because this AI that they've become very attached to was suddenly gone or completely different. And then they had to go through the emotional turmoil of that.
Yeah. Okay. So we've gone through the negatives now. There may be some people out there who are like, I was thinking about dating AI, or maybe they've actually taken some steps. First of all, if you stop dating AI and start dating a person, should you tell is that part of your relationship history?
I think that's a really good question. So I think it kind of depends on what the history was with the AI. So if you just had this fling, you were playing with it, trying it out, I think you could tell that partner that you're starting to date and it would be a funny story.
Right.
But on the other hand, if this was a serious relationship where you built a bond with this AI, where you're going to want to talk about it to your partner, like I remember when Alexa, I just use that name, it's going to be a little weird if that person doesn't know what's going on there. So if it made it.
You want to talk about judgment. I think it's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
You better have a strong relationship before you start talking about your AI ex.
That's exactly right. So if you had an important bond with this AI, that relationship's going to come up in the future, it probably would make sense to bring that up. And I think that would be a challenging thing to do because of that judgment aspect. So I think kind of thinking about the stage of the relationship with this real person might be, a factor, but I think it really just depends on how deep that relationship was.
That makes sense. Okay, I think I got a good last question then here. And that is, how do I break up with AI? Not me. How does somebody they're sitting in their car right now thinking, I've been dating AI, I don't know if it's right for me now that you've laid out some of these negatives. How do you break up with it?
Right. So I think, the easiest obvious answer to most of us is you just delete it. You stop talking to it, right?
That's what we would think if we aren't the ones dating it.
Exactly.
But that's also the answer for any person too. Like, just break up with them.
And I love that you bring that up because this is just like a relationship in so many ways, because a relationship is that emotional bond. That is kind of the core of a relationship. So if a person develops an emotional bond with this artificial intelligence, it doesn't make it any less real just because it doesn't have a physical form. But as far as breaking up, I think that really depends on the person more than the AI. So that person is going to go through that same process as a typical breakup of, what do I do with my time now? Who do I talk to? Like, what do I do with these feelings? So I think, having that person really process through, like, what am I feeling, and saying, like, it's okay to feel that way, because I think, again, there's a lot of judgment there. But just because the AI isn't real doesn't mean that the bond wasn't real. So really kind of getting some help, just like a typical breakup in that situation.
There we go. I think this has been helpful for a lot of people, whether you're ever been anywhere near AI, or this can also be just helpful for your actual real life relationships too. If you want to find out more about Sheena and her relationship coaching, look up Phoenix Rising Wellness Coaching. Thanks for coming in, Sheena.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's the Hudson Show. Producer Allie is here. You just passed me this article a bit ago about how airlines are cracking down on gate lice. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm concerned. I've literally got people like flying in to see me tomorrow. Are they going to bring lice with them? Is this what I honestly don't know what this is, and I am concerned about it.
Yeah, no. Gate lice is just a word or term that boarding staff use for airlines that they use to describe a certain group of people, which we've all encountered.
I see. Now it's in quotation marks.
Yes, it's not real lice. Don't worry.
But what is it then?
So basically, if you've ever been boarding a flight before and you know kind of how the boarding process works, there will be agents at the terminal who will announce the different boarding groups.
Yeah.
So if you're in group 1, group 2, come up to the front, we'll scan you in and you can get on the plane. Well, that's how it's supposed to work. But as we all know, that's never really how it works, because what ends up happening is as soon as they announce that they're boarding certain, groups, everyone kind of gets up and starts getting in line. So
and
now
what are the agents supposed to do? Like, I've always wondered about that. Like, you're in group C, sir. But what? It would be delaying everybody if you turned him away and made him wait.
Exactly. So now they are kind of setting up a system where they can make that go away, make gate lice not a thing anymore.
How are they doing that?
They are now audibly flagging when someone tries to board before their boarding gate, their boarding number or group has been announced. So before your group's been called, if you try and get in line and try and scan in, it's going to flag you. It's going to make a little noise, and it'll alert the agent to say, "Hey, step aside, sir."
So they are going to. This is just going to make it take longer, though, because you know what it's going to do. It's going to get people that are like in line and a little too over eager and whatever. Like, I don't even know why you want to get on the plane first unless it's open seating, which I don't think many airlines do that anymore. So why would you even want to get, like, you're already going to spend how many hours on a plane? Got to get my seat and get comfy. Like, you're going to be tired of that seat by the time the flight is over. I don't know why people do this. Nevertheless, this is just going to delay people because they're going to get into fights. They're going to be like, but this is my spot in line. I've been waiting here for I don't understand. Why are they doing this?
Well, I think the concept is that, they say the reason people try and do this is like the competitive spirit within humans. You just want to try and be on the plane first and get ahead, that type of thing. But they say the reason they think this system will work is because one thing that all humans hate is public shaming.
Yeah.
So if you will be embarrassed by the fact that you are not supposed to be boarding currently by this audible flag going off that everyone is going to be able to hear, and the boarding agent literally telling you to step aside and get to the back of the line, or, wait until your boarding group has been called, I think that will discourage gate lice from happening.
They're just going to count on the fact that people will be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
That I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know the kind of people that are already getting in line anyways, I feel like a lot of them might not be the type to get very embarrassed.
Well,
they're ready to start a ruckus instead.
But they're still not going to be able to get on the plane.
Yeah,
so
I guess not.
They'll just have to be mad.
I have other ideas I'd like to share with airlines that could also work. Like, what if your boarding pass just you don't even get alerted. You don't have to announce it over everything. Everybody's got their pass on their phone anyways. You just get a notification, and I guess then the gate lice would start seeing people lining up, but like their boarding pass wouldn't work. I don't know. I guess there's problems with every idea I can come up with, but it just sounds like another thing that's going to make the airline experience just a little more miserable, especially if you're the type of person that's trying to cheat. I just saw this report that says that Gen Z is more likely to call off of work due to back pain and neck pain than like any other generation. And I'm looking at this report, and at first I'm like, what? Because what? We're soft, we're weak, oh, boo-hoo. Like, oh, we can't handle work. We'll use any excuse we can. And yes, that is accurate of me anyways. But it's not that. The researchers that have found this have found that it's not because we're big babies. It's actually because we're more likely to experience an issue called tech neck, which is a curvature of the upper spine due to several years of poor posture by looking down at smartphones and tablets for hours a day. Y'all, I have this. So it's true in multiple ways. I have tech neck, and I'm a baby that's lazy and wants any excuse to get out of work. So I don't know. I guess shout out to baby boomers for toughing it out, not looking at tablets and getting sore. Would You Rather Wednesday here on the Hudson Show. You can always send in a question if you've got one at 8772 RadioU. Although today's comes to us from our very own producer, Allie, in honor of National Crocs Day, which is today. Allie, what's the question?
Yeah, and this is not celebrating like crocodiles. This is Crocs as in the shoes.
Yeah.
But yes, my question was based off of that because I feel like there's an instance where you can find yourself in Crocs where you might not want to be in them.
Oh, yeah.
So would you rather wear Crocs in the snow or Birkenstocks in the rain?
Can you describe, this might sound silly, can you describe Birkenstocks to people? Because I feel like people might know the name but not necessarily know what they look like or what they are.
So Birkenstocks are those brown sandals. You'll see a lot of people wearing them now. They're very popular, and they've kind of got like a velvety texture as far as the shoe bed that you rest your foot on. So it's an interesting texture. And
I remember my mom wearing those a lot.
Yeah.
She was very fashionable.
Yeah, they are very fashionable right now. So yes, Birks in the rain or Crocs in the snow. Which would you rather have to deal with?
All right. I already know my answer, but everyone else can chime in at 8772 RadioU with your thoughts. Birks in the rain or Crocs in the snow for today's Would You Rather Wednesday. Many people have opinions on this, Allie. Amy simply says Birks in the rain. No explanation. We also heard from Susanna, who's got two answers. She says, short term, Crocs in the snow. If I had to wear them for a week, Birks in the rain. I think that might be smart.
Yeah.
Regina says, I guess Crocs, although they did rub my ankles raw in the 6th grade when I had them. I really dislike wet shoes. You don't want to be stuck in wet shoes. Dee says Crocs in the snow because they have closed-toed shoes, closed-toe Crocs. I guess they do make all kinds of Crocs, but we're talking about the classics.
Yeah,
right?
We're talking about the classics, like they got the holes in them.
We're not dealing with technicalities here on the Hudson Show, which leads me to Taylor's answer. I don't know if this counts. She says Crocs in the snow. I'll just throw on some thick socks and hope for the best. Which kind of sounds like actually the worst of both worlds, because if that goes on long enough, then you're going to have soggy socks from the snow and you're going to be in Crocs.
Yeah.
So I don't know I know my answer. What is your thoughts?
So my thoughts is I think I would go with the Crocs because they do give you a little bit more closure and some more coverage than the Birks do. And Birks, I feel like actually do get ruined in water in the rain. And I had an incident one time where I was wearing Crocs in the rain and I developed a slight case of trench foot from it.
What? Wait, what is this trench foot? It sounds horrible. It sounds like something from the medieval era.
Not medieval era. I don't know when it developed. I'm assuming it's from World War I when soldiers were in the trenches and could not get their feet like dry.
Yeah.
So I hate to say that I had trench foot because I did not serve in World War I. I was not in trench warfare, but I did develop a slight case.
You just wanted to wear Birks.
I made the mistake of wearing Birks in the rain.
I know my answer. Let me explain. Walk with me, if you will. When my parents were in college, they went to college in Winnipeg in Canada. It gets very cold. And you're like, yeah, it's Canada. It gets cold. But listen, you know how cold it gets in Minnesota and North Dakota and Wisconsin in the winter. And this is north of all of those places. And so it gets very cold, colder than most of us have probably experienced. and they had a dorm room bet one night. They were playing some kind of game, and the game was, and then the loser had the choice. You could either run around in the wintertime in the snow in your underwear and shoes, or fully clothed but barefoot. The guy who lost chose to run around in his underwear with shoes, which tells me those people have experienced that cold, and you would think they'd be used to it, and they know, even that guy knew, I'm taking full-on shoes, and I'd rather be naked than than be anywhere close to bare feet in this snow. That's dangerous, and so that's where that leads me to say Birks in the rain is my choice, because Crocs is too close to being barefoot in the snow, and fashion-wise, it's a wash to me. I don't think Birks I'm not into either, but I'm taking Birks in the rain 100%, because that is just because of Gord from Canada, who was my parents' friend and ran around their dorms naked.
Thanks, Gord.
This solidifies Spirit Airlines, their title as the nastiest airline out there. Just the biggest gamble. Video's gone viral of a Spirit Airlines flight. It was between LA and Dallas, I believe, where there was a rat on the plane. You can literally see, like, it's in a light fixture kind of thing on the plane, like one of the spots where there's a plastic cover and the light comes through. And you can see the rat's feet. You can see the silhouette. It looks it looks actually like something from one of the Alien movies. It is actually frightening. And now this leads me to my question. You're on a flight that you're in midair. You're flying from Dallas to Texas, and you see a rat up in, the wiring of your plane. Do you want this flight to be delayed? You just want to land wherever you are and try to get rid of the rat, which is, by the way, possibly going to take a while, might not be an easy task. Or are you just riding this thing out because, hey, I got to get where I'm going. I need to get to LA. Flying is already stressful enough, takes long enough. I can't deal with a rat delay. Let's just take our chances here. What are the odds that it will actually do something to mess up the flight? I have a question for you. And the question is, what is a food that you could eat until it makes you sick? This is different from just, this is a food I like. What is a food that you can continue eating, chain eating, to the point where if you didn't stop, you would become sick before you became, satisfied? 8772 RadioU. Let me know your thoughts. Some good answers coming in already. Get a load of this, producer Allie. The very first response that came in was from Mickey. Feta cheese, easily. Just straight feta cheese. Mickey says he would eat that until he throws up.
Okay, yeah. That's a choice.
Is right. Feta cheese, it's not bad. I've had some good things with feta cheese. It was a shocking answer to me, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd pick that.
Maybe, I guess we didn't cover this, but I guess it could be a food that makes you throw up instantly. And so then it just as soon as you eat it, it makes you sick.
And then you're done.
It's technically the same as a food you could continue to eat until it makes you sick. But that was not really what I was going for. Susanna, this is controversial as well, but at least it makes sense. Like, I understand. Cincinnati chili. How do you feel about Cincinnati chili?
Like, are we talking Skyline here?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I'm not a huge chili person, so I'd probably not be on this train, but I do know there are a lot of people that love chili.
Chili is one of my favorite foods, and I do like Cincinnati chili. But in the spirit of this question, I think I would eat it, but it would fill me up before, there's this is the difference. There's foods that'll eat and you'll eat and they'll fill you up and you'll be like, I'm done. Then there's other foods where you just can't keep on eating. As long as it's in front of you, you're eating it. And so that, I think that's a little different. Molly said mac and cheese, which makes a lot of sense, especially because she says no matter how you like, even if you don't like plain mac and cheese, you put stuff on it, and all of a sudden, like, you're getting so much variety with mac and cheese, you can just keep eating it and eat it in different ways until finally you're sick.
Yeah,
so,
like some good buffalo mac and cheese, that's great.
If that's the choice you want to make, that's totally fine. What is your answer, producer Allie?
So I had to really think hard on this because I was trying to figure out, do I want to say my favorite food? Because, sometimes your favorite food is because you don't eat it that often. And at least that's how it is for me. You know, everything in moderation type of deal. Like if you kept watching Shawshank Redemption on repeat, suddenly it's not as good of a movie anymore. So, but I am going to go with my favorite food after all. And that is the Italian dish manicotti. I would eat that nonstop.
Yeah, you can get some good manicotti. And that is the type of thing, whatever they bring out on the plate never feels like enough. You could keep going with it.
It's true.
It's not that filling, I suppose. That is a good answer. For me, it's much more like it would have to be a finger food because I have a lot of experience. And so I know that the first thing that instantly comes to mind is crunchy Cheetos. As long as the bag has some in it, I'm going to keep eating it. It doesn't matter if you get me the little tiny, snack size, or if you get if you bought me a Costco pack of family size crunchy Cheetos, I would just keep eating until eventually, like they're going to make me sick eventually, right? I haven't gotten to that point, but one day it's going to happen, I think.
Yeah.
That's definitely my answer. We did hear from Wendy who says Five Guys fries. And you know what? They make it easy too because they just keep giving them to you.
They just keep putting them in the bag.
They give you enough to make you sick. So that's a good one too from Wendy. If your significant other is like super adamant when you all go grocery shopping together about putting bell peppers, like we got to get the bell peppers, babe. Don't forget the bell peppers. That's not just a red pepper. That's a red flag right there because they might have seen the story online. It mostly seems to be overseas so far, over in Europe. But there's a trend that bell peppers, they call it the bell pepper code. And it is a way to let people know out in public that you might be looking to, to put it bluntly, have an affair. It is a new trend across Europe where they put bell peppers in their cart, but they do it in a specific way. You have to have 2 bell peppers. They need to be red. And they need to be upside down in the cart. You meet all those criteria, and all of a sudden, that is somebody that's looking for a little fling, which obviously is trouble if you're out and about with them.
I have one honest question about this, though.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
What if you're
I would know the answer.
What if you're just an innocent bystander and you have no idea that by putting these red bell peppers upside down, that you're signaling that you would like an extramarital affair? What do you do then?
I think a lot of people are going to be making that argument if they get caught. They're going to be going, no, I had no idea. What? There's a code? You put them upside down? I've never heard of this before. You mean it has to be 2? Okay, I wish I would have known. I would have bought 3. Sorry, babe. I don't know the answer. How many happy relationships could be ended because of misplaced bell peppers?
Yeah.
It's definitely a chance that at least overseas that is going to be an issue.
Yeah, you don't want the bell pepper to be the reason why you broke up with your significant other.
Be very cautious. Just play it safe. Just when you're out, if you are grocery shopping with somebody else, maybe just get the green peppers. I know they might not taste quite right for whatever you're cooking, but you just don't want to raise any eyebrows or any suspicions. I think it's a safe way to go. Just about a month after Shohei Ohtani became the first player in baseball history to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a single season, the home run ball that put him over the 50-50 mark has sold at auction for fittingly a record-breaking amount, $4.3 million for that 50-50 home run ball. One of the most expensive, actually the most expensive baseball or any ball in history, according to the auction house that auctioned it off. $4.3 million. If you remember, too, there was a big scrum over people trying to get to the ball in Miami when the home run was hit. There's a lawsuit that I'm assuming has just been put to bed, but I'm not sure. But one guy who says that he should had the home run ball, and then the guy who wound up taking it to auction, like ripped it out of his hand by like putting him in an arm lock or something like that. And when you see that it goes for $4.3 million, it's actually shocking that there weren't more punches thrown. If you knew that ball was worth $4.3 million, would you not have assaulted somebody? Like, come on, just this one time for $4.3 million. I'm not a bad guy, but for $4.3 million, like, where's your line? What are you willing to do? I'm surprised people's lines actually was drawn pretty conservatively in this situation. Jimmy John's has got a special treat for you on Monday. It'll be the first day they start serving the Pickle Witch. We've lived long enough to see pickles replace bread on sandwiches. The Pickle Witch will be available at Jimmy John's from October 28th through November 14th, or while supplies last, because you know these things are going to go fast. And it is literally like a regular sandwich, all the ingredients you would expect from Jimmy John's, too much lettuce and everything. But instead of sandwich between their bread that people seem pretty fond of, it is instead sandwiched between a giant hollowed out pickle. This is evidence to me. If you remember, you go back several years, if you're old enough, you would know, like when Parks and Recreation was a show that was popular on TV, Ron Swanson was on there. He loved bacon. And all of a sudden, there was all these people that made bacon like one of the three-legged, like part of the three-legged stool of their personality. It's like, I like this, and I like this, and I like bacon. And those are the things you need to know about me. And it was a little much. And that is now, we've lived long enough for that to be replaced. Pickles have overtaken bacon. And this Pickle Witch might be peak pickle. This might be, it's all downhill from here for you pickle people. All that said, you know what we probably just have to have as a food fight on the show next week. And I'm going to hate it. I don't even like pickles. It's probably why I have this attitude towards the whole thing. I don't know if you've been keeping up with what's been going on with Dave Grohl. He's the lead singer of the popular band, the Foo Fighters. And this did get started like a month ago, at least in the public eye. And I don't know what recently brought it back into my mind. But Dave Grohl announced like a month ago that although he's been married for quite some time and has, I think, 3 daughters with his wife, he also has a mistress, and he's now a baby daddy. And so at this time, when this came out, very traumatic for many people who grew up listening to the Foo Fighters, loving Dave Grohl, because he did kind of seem, I mean, you know, like he's a rock star, so you never know, but he seemed like he was kind of like a stand-up guy, family man, whatever. And then this news comes out, and it's crushing to a lot of people. There's a lot of people like this TikTok, letting go of my last little bit of teenage angst, and they're beating up a Dave Grohl cardboard cutout. It was tough for a lot of people to know that somebody that you thought was, you know, how much did you really idolize him? But like you just thought, like, this is a good guy, right? And then it turns out that, well, he's maybe just as screwed up and makes just as many bad choices as many of the rest of us and our parents and our, you know, our friends and whatever. And it's tough to find out that somebody that you looked up to in any way, that they're not perfect and that they've let you down like so many others before. I always find it's so hard to find heroes in life, because when you look up to people, it's only a matter of time until they let you down in some way. But that's why I found the best thing to do is to look up to God. I focus on Jesus as my hero because God is perfect. Jesus doesn't make mistakes. He never screws up, and he is not going to let you down. So you can turn to him, talk to him, be with him, and follow him, and know that he's not going to lead you astray like so many others will eventually, or break your heart by doing something you thought, no, he would never do that. And then he does. Plus, on top of all of that, unlike Dave Grohl, like, God will actually talk to you. Jesus will be a part of your life every single step of the way. However you need him, he'll be there for you. If you want to know more about what that's like, you can start talking to God right now, wherever you're at, and say, hey, Jesus, I need you in my life. I need a hero. I want to be able to look up to you. You can also go to RadioU.com/free gift if you want to know more. Scientists have invented a camera that takes pictures of your poop. I mean, I guess any picture or any camera could do that, but this is from a company called Throne that literally the idea is it's a camera that attaches to your toilet. It's facing down, so don't worry. None of your actual body should be included in the pictures that it takes. But then anytime you go to the bathroom, it will automatically take a picture of what you've left behind before you flush. And then that gets sent off to doctors, or actually doctor-trained artificial intelligence, which analyzes the stool and provides insight into your daily digestive and hydration status. I just saw this headline, and yeah, I did want to talk about it, but I just also wanted to make producer Allie have to write up a bunch of stuff on it and make her read the entire article. Don't you have enough to be self-conscious about? Think about the anxiety that goes into going to the doctor, and then imagine adding that to every time you go to the bathroom. No, thank you. I'd rather be unhealthy. I'd rather die. We've opened up the Hudson hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
For guesses on what the brand new most popular candy for Halloween is in 2024. This is according to sales on candystore.com. They put out this list every year, but for the first time ever, this candy has taken over the top spot. Many good guesses coming in. Reese's, a popular guess. That is wrong, because Reese's were typically the most popular Halloween candy, which seems appropriate, doesn't it?
Yeah, that feels right.
But not anymore. Some say Twizzlers. That is incorrect as well. This is an interesting one, because you think about what you feel like you got a lot as a kid in your Halloween bucket. Someone said Smarties. It's wrong, but that feels like it could have been right.
Yeah.
What's your guess?
So I got to be honest, my guess was going to be the Reese's peanut butter cups, but since that's already wrong,
Yeah.
but that just feels like a candy that, I love, and a candy that a lot of people love.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think. I know we already talked about the fact that a lot of people are buying less chocolate this year due to the fact that it's just more expensive.
Yep, the price has gone up.
So
Although they say that every year.
Yeah, they do say that every year.
Like the price of other candy isn't going up.
Right. Oh, goodness. I'm not sure.
Just name a candy.
I know, but
name a candy.
I had one in mind, and now it's wrong. Now I don't know what to go with.
So you only know 3 candies.
Hershey's chocolate bars.
I'm glad that's not the right answer. I'm glad that it's not Hershey's. That'd be too plain, too boring. Although I'm not exactly thrilled with this answer either. But the correct answer, the most popular Halloween candy, according to sales at candystore.com in 2024, is M&M's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were thinking about it too much.
Yeah, I really was. I do like M&M's, but I don't know. I just feel like kids do like to get kind of one solid piece of candy rather than like a little bag that they have to.
Like candy that's more fun.
Yeah.
M&M's. Do you know who when you get your bucket and you get home and you dump it out on the floor and you're grouping it all up. Everybody does this, right? Everybody does this.
Organized.
You're organizing your candy, seeing how much you got of each thing. Apparently this year you're going to see more M&M's. But which kid is going, all right, I've got all these choices in front of me. Sour Patch, Twizzlers, Butterfingers, Twix, Reese's, Almond Joy. Let me have the M&M's. That's you got to be 3 years old if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, but also for
real kids know.
Real kids know what the good stuff is.
Yeah.
But also, if you're giving a kid Almond Joy, what are you doing? What are you? Don't do that.
Is that an allergy risk?
It's an allergy risk, but also I have never met a kid that likes coconut.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I still don't like Almond Joy. I would still take an Almond Joy over M&M's though, just because they're so boring. At least give me peanut M&M's. Peanut butter.
That's also an allergy risk.
So many different varieties now, and people are just giving out the old standard M&M's more than ever. I'm not proud of that. As a country, I think we've fallen astray. I think there's going to be a lot of disappointed kids on Halloween. Surely you've seen in the last, I don't know, it was about a little over a week ago, presidential candidate Donald Trump showed up at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania and actually helped serve French fries. He helped prepare and serve French fries out of the drive-thru window at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Well, now one of the servings of fries that Donald Trump handed out through the drive-thru window of this Pennsylvania McDonald's is available for sale on Facebook Marketplace. For how much would you pay for this? Because they are available for $10,000. Now, the guy who has these listed says they're authenticated and they're real. These truly are the fries that were served by Donald Trump. Do we believe him? I'm not sure. Either way, I don't have $10,000, so I'm definitely not in the market to buy these, so it really doesn't matter to me that much. But he claims that these are the French fries that were served by Donald Trump out of the drive-thru window in Pennsylvania. It's ironic to me because if you watch the video, Donald Trump says multiple times, he's like, the fries never touched by human hands. He was very impressed by that. So these fries that were served by Donald Trump were never even touched by Donald Trump, which makes them exactly the same as every other French fry that's ever been served at McDonald's, except the fries that were served to Donald Trump himself. We got a new tourist destination that is ready to take off. Now that United Airlines has announced their first nonstop flight from the United States to this country. See what I did there? The country is the tourist destination, Greenland. Greenland. How do you say it, Producer Allie?
I've always said it Greenland.
Sure, Greenland. Also, how do you say the capital city of Greenland? You want to take a stab at that?
I think it's pronounced Nuuk or
Nuuk.
Yeah, something like that.
That sounds like it would work.
Or Nuuk, maybe Nuuk.
It could be Nuuk.
Yeah.
Either way, it's Nuuk. It is the capital city of the country of Greenland, and reports are that American tourism to Greenland, is ready to shoot through the roof because people are curious about going to Greenland. It looks to me like some of the reasoning behind it is people want to go to like European countries, right, and experience that culture. But going overseas to Europe, very expensive. It really adds up. Whereas Greenland, similar culture, actually, I guess because it used to be, a Viking nation kind of thing. And so you get a similar experience and it's not as far to go, I suppose. And so they can fly there for cheaper and then things there possibly cheaper. I don't know. It seems like it would be once you arrived, like Alaska, where everything would be so expensive. That's all I know about Alaska. It's like you go and a bag of Cheetos is $17 because it has to drive so far to even get to Alaska. So I don't know. I thought that's how Greenland would be. But also, looking into Greenland, it does look like it would be fun. I don't even know what you would do there. Ice fish? I don't know. It looks fun. It looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a beautiful country. I know many people love, Scandinavian cruises right now, like Viking cruises. And so this kind of offers the allure of that with this new flight from United. I think it's awesome that it's only 4 hours. So like if you're flying from New Jersey, that doesn't feel like a lot, That's like a flight in the United States. Some are 4 hours long. So
I've flown 4 hours to go much worse places. I assume anyways.
Than Greenland, yeah. But I mean, if you want to fly to London, you're going to be 8-9 hours in an airplane. That's not fun, So I do get the appeal of that shorter flight. And it's also the appeal of something where it's like, oh, it's undiscovered. It's kind of new and the new trend. Oh, let's go to Scandinavia. Let's go to Greenland. It's the new Ireland.
You don't want to be the fifth one of your friends who have gone to Ireland or Norway or Iceland. You want to be the first one of your friends to go to Greenland. That'd be so much cooler. And then you can tell them and act like almost like you're on the tourism board of Greenland. Like you're going to start, like they're going to go because of you. And then you can feel that sense of pride because you paved the way for them to go. I'm intrigued. I still feel like there's a lot of places I'll probably go first.
Right.
But I would love to go to Greenland one day.
You can add it to the bucket list for sure. This makes it more accessible to Americans. And I think that's why they're expecting the tourism to rank up. But I will say, don't think that you can just go to Greenland and get a nice place to stay out of nowhere, because they only have, on the record, 550 hotel rooms in the whole country.
Yeah.
The whole country.
That's like two flights going to Greenland and all of a sudden everything's filled.
And these flights aren't big. The airplanes are not that big. It's only like 160 people or something.
I imagine the Airbnb scene in Greenland, probably not great yet. But then again, that's another opportunity. A real estate empire could be built if you just want to try to start get in on that kind of thing. I'm intrigued. And I have a history of doing travel vlog type things on TikTok. I've done like 5. And so if Greenland wants me to help promote, you want to get me there, a complimentary trip, I'll be more than happy to share my experience on TikTok at Hudson RadioU. Get your popcorn ready. It's our weekend tradition on the Hudson Show, the weekend watch list, letting you know which movies are new in theaters and at home you could be watching this weekend. The big new release in theaters. This is going to be number 1. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. Venom, Last Dance. Eddie Brock and Venom make a devastating decision as they're pursued by a mysterious military man. Critics not being too kind to Venom: The Last Dance. It has a 37% as far as I see right now. Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun-Times says, sure, there's a ton of PG-13 violence and lots of explosions, but their last dance is still more of a affectionate tango than a hardcore mosh. Producer Allie, how many Venom movies have you seen?
0.
Me
but I
too.
have seen like Spider-Man 3. Does that count?
No. No, it does not. He's only in the end credits, right?
No, Topher Grace is like a big character in that.
Yeah, that's okay. No, it doesn't count. Different franchise. Okay, we can't talk about Venom anymore because neither of us have seen any of them, which is actually a shock. How about this? On Amazon Prime Video, Canary Black, Kate Beckinsale is Avery Graves, a CIA operative who's blackmailed by terrorists into betraying her own country to save her kidnapped husband. Cut off from her team, she turns to her underworld contacts to survive. Underworld, and it's Kate Beckinsale.
I like
Who
where
wrote
it's
that?
going.
Who did that? Not enough reviews for it to have a Rotten Tomatoes score, but William Bibiani of The Wrap says Canary Black is recognizable as an action movie, but it's neither thrilling nor dramatic enough to qualify as entertainment.
Oh, no.
At least it's free with your Amazon Prime subscription. Finally, this one also has like no reviews on Netflix yet, but it's brand new. It's called Don't Move. When a killer injects her with a paralytic agent, a woman must run, fight, and hide before her body completely shuts down. That sounds awful.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this and it actually was anxiety inducing.
Just the trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm not watching that. I don't know if it's the best slate of options this week for the weekend watch list.
Yeah, I think all of them might belong in the underworld, in all honesty.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. This video is crazy if you haven't seen it yet. It's at SeaWorld. People are sitting watching one of those orca shows. I didn't know they still did those. I thought that was too controversial now. Apparently not. But this might put an end to them. SeaWorld San Antonio. People watching an orca show when the orca comes by in view of the camera and clearly, we'll put it lightly, defecates in the water. It leaves a bunch of brown residue. And then the orca disappears for a while. The video continues, only to see the orca return and breach, which caused a massive splash into the splash zone right in the middle of all of that brown water. And so there you have, it's all over the crowd. All kinds of supposedly innocent bystanders have now been covered in orca excrement. I guess this is like the orcas getting their revenge, right? For years, we've been told that it's, evil in the way that SeaWorld keeps these orcas in their containers. But finally, the orcas are taking matters into their own hands, apparently. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.